Alright, hello and welcome back to another Why Would You Use? And this week I decided to pick a silent weapon, and I went with the Paris Prime. The reason I went with the Paris Prime is because it is readily available and is fucking outstanding. So, it makes it a pretty easy why would you use this. This weapon is fantastic. So let's take a look at it. First of all, let's do this without the build. Without any mods in it, this weapon has a 45% critical chance, which I believe is the second highest in the game. I think there's one or two weapons above this that have another tie, which is absurd, which is very, very high. Its critical multiplier is normal, which is fine because its critical chance is obscene. Because if that critical multiplier was 3.0, this weapon would be silly and would be gross. It would be absolutely disgusting. This weapon does a lot of damage, and it actually does double damage whenever you have it all the way pulled back, so that's pretty important. And it has a decent status chance, and it's silent, so this is a good weapon for stealth. And on top of all of that stuff, whenever you have it pulled back all the way, you get punched through walls, which is also really good for stealth. And also just really good for killing dudes, because you can just shoot through a huge line of enemies and kill everyone. So, my build for the Paris Prime is maybe not like the most optimal build. Obviously there's a mod slot you could fill in, and there's some other changes you could make to the build, like damage types and doing things like that. But this build works pretty well, and it does obscene damage like a huge margin of the time, so it does pretty alright. The thing that I would say you could definitely switch out if you were feeling it, you could actually just drop split chamber in favor of throw serration over here and then fit in another elemental that way, or do some other modding. You maybe can fit a hammer shot in when you do that, or I think you'd be able to fit 2 elementals in, maybe. I'm actually curious about that, but well, we won't mess with that. There are a lot of different builds that you can do for this, and the only mods that you really definitely factually should absolutely use in this build are these 3 down here: Serration, Vital Sense, Point Strike. If you're not using those 3, this weapon's not going to be as good as it could be no matter what, and then everything else is kind of up to preference. I don't even think Split Chamber is necessary for bows, because they can do so much damage in a single shot, and is kind of a thing that I usually add later for a bow. So, let's go do a bunch of damage with this thing, huh? Because this weapon hits a ton of bricks inside of a truck, inside of a larger truck, going 100 miles an hour. Yeah. So let's go drive a truck. Alright, so let's get this started. Enemy level 50. 50 has seemed to be a pretty good number for this so far. Although I do know that eventually we're going to get to weapons where I'm going to need to lower that. Just because armor is armor, basically. 2 of these dudes. We'll do 4 of these. 4 of these. 4 of these. And this actually has seemed like a pretty good setup because it's kind of all of the specials, or the important specials, and some normal dudes. I probably should go scan the rest of these though. I think most of these are XMI, so they don't really matter. Alright. Let's do this. That was close. So you do, because of your fire rate, have to be a little careful. There's a red. And you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're surrounded. And it doesn't matter if guys are through walls. And you can see, even these level 50s are not doing so hot. And that was just not charged up at all. You can still do pretty well. Unless you miss, in which case, fuck you. Or fuck me, rather, I suppose. Yeah, it's pretty plain to see why this weapon is... Ow, ow, ow. Why this weapon is so good, and I should pay attention. Obviously, you have to get used to the travel time. Come on. Rockets don't do this. You do have to get used to the travel time, and it's actually been a little bit since I've used the bow. I'm just... Alright, there we go. There we go, that worked out. It's been a little bit... It's been a little bit of time. This is a weapon where getting used to it is required. Give me that sweet headshot. There we go. Okay. That didn't go super well. But yeah. Not used to using a bow. I've been using a lot of shotguns lately. But yeah. You can see just from the damage, like, you get used to this, you pop off the headshots like I was doing in the beginning parts of that. And it does just jaw-dropping, like, instant kill damage. Like, a headshot with this is gonna kill most things. It just does absurd amounts of damage. And it shoots pretty fast. And, like, even just, like, shooting regularly, you get a really large amount of damage. So yeah, that's the Paris Prime. Oh, also, this is, like, kind of a concern that a lot of people have, is, like, with the way it looks. I don't super mind the way the Paris Prime looks, but actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. This is like an extra thing, I guess. It's not really a why would you use as much as another reason to use. But like, I'm showing like in all of these why would you use videos, I'm showing like the default basic looks for a weapon. I don't really like personally the way that the Paris Prime looks, so I always change it to this. You can just use a skin, and then it just changes how the bow looks. And I actually think it looks way, way better like this. And it's kind of like less obnoxious to look at and doesn't cover as much of like your field of vision when you're aiming. So I think it's nice. So I just use the Abra skin, which I don't remember, or the Forest Camo skin does it too. So if you really want to use the Paris, but you don't really like how it looks, go trade around for a bit and grab 20 plat and throw a skin on it, and it'll be all good.